Are on. I am here with Adam Sawiki. Am I saying your name right?
Sawiki, Polish name.
Okay, from ANS Opals, where I just did quite a bit of shopping, and I'm going to show you what I got. But I thought that I would ask Adam to help us understand opal a little bit better, in
Yeah,
particular Australian opal, since that's what he's doing and
Yep.
cutting.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'm here to help. So, one of the things I try to focus on with my business is education of people and trying to kind of re educate society on opal and, in particular, Australian opal, which is what I prefer to work with. I do work with Lightning Ridge material, Boulder Opal from Queensland. I work with Cooper PD Opal on occasion. And then sometimes I end up with opalized fossil specimens from other parts of Australia as well. So, yeah, any
Well, we can actually. I don't know where the regions are that the what I just bought. So I kind of spend a half hour, then another half hour, and then another half hour, and then I come up with a very
there's a few half hours in there,
mixed.
right?
Yes, I think so. So these are Boulder Opal. Why are they called Boulder Opal?
So most of the Boulder Opal comes from Queensland, a little bit just north of the Lightning Ridge border on up, and like pretty much into the center of the state. So Boulder Opal forms in little cracks and fissures that occurred in the natural ironstone that a lot of the continent of Australia is made out of. And the opal hydrated silica dioxide molecules seep into those cracks and fissures, and they fill in and bond themselves to the ironstone. So then when they mine it, they're basically using larger equipment than we use in other places like Cooper Pedy or Lightning Ridge. They kind of use diggers and excavators, and they rip the boulder, they rip the ironstone, and then go through and look for any bits of color. In certain areas of Queensland, they get like basically pipe opal, which is more like opalized roots, tree roots, and it sort of fills in like a different way. And generally, you have a lot of crystal opal on the front, and then some of the natural like tree root looking inclusion on the back. Some people like that.
So we have, I think this is what's called a crystal opal.
That's a crystal opal. Yep.
I'm gonna have to try to get close
And
slowly.
in Lightning Ridge, part of the reason I like Lightning Ridge more than some of the other fields is because we have such a diverse array of opal. Crystal opal forms in Lightning Ridge as well as Cooper Pedy, but Cooper Pedy is mostly known for its white and its crystal opal, where Lightning Ridge, we can have Lightning Ridge white opal, crystal opal, black opal, semi-black opal. There's even some Boulder opal and fairy opal found in that area as well on occasion. So it's like a nice diverse selection as well as really cool opalized fossils. So it's got a little bit of something for everyone, and that's why I actually prefer it the most. Not to mention the uniqueness of the opal that is found in that area. We have some of the best crystal opal, and one of the only places where you can find natural black opal in any commercially viable quantity. So,
So this one is a black opal, right?
oh
Because
yeah,
it
it's a
has
beauty.
a black body color um,
Now,
and blue and green. Yeah.
it would be a very dark black opal, so that would be what we call like an N1 or N2 on the body tone scale, which is how we rate black opal. So um, the darker the body tone, generally the more rare it is, especially when you get nice bright colors on there. It doesn't affect the prices so much. Like as long as it's a black opal, the price is you know priced as black opal, but it's really only about maybe 10% of what we pull out of the ground up in Lightning Ridge,
Oh.
even though they're famous for it. We get a lot of semi-black opal, like mostly semi-black opal, a little bit of white opal and crystal opal. So the black opal is exceptionally rare.
And this one is also a black opal, but it's not considered quite as expensive, right? Because
No.
it's just blue
Just
And
blue,
it's
which
not-
is a bit more of a common color.
and it's not flashing as much. Is that what you call it? Right?
Yeah, we say play of color. So like where this one dances a lot
Yeah.
and the colors change and go in and out, where the other one is more of just a standard, almost blue color right across the face. So this one would have less play of color, where the small one is much higher play of color on it. better saturation as well.
And is these so this one, where's this one from? I like the turquoise on it. It's very bright.
Well, it's Lightning Ridge as well. It's
Okay.
out of the Seam Opal field, so that'd be in the the Growan area of
And
Australia and Lightning Ridge.
you were telling me earlier that this is where you got to spend much of COVID. And we're going to talk about this little red guy. In a
Yeah,
moment,
so
but I'm
I
gonna
went
show
and did
you.
a show on the West Coast after Tucson last year, and that was right about the time there were a couple cases in each one of the major cities in the U.S. I thought, well, I already bought a ticket to go down to Australia and meet up with the miners and spend a couple weeks, playing around with them and digging. And I got down there, and about 3 or 4 days later, everything was shut down, and I was just stuck down there and made it up to Lightning Ridge before they actually locked down the travel in Australia.
Oh wow, I
So,
didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't even leave the town essentially. So I was basically living out in the bush about 70 kilometers outside of
Oh
town,
my god.
out in my buddy's camp in the Growan, and just helping them mine. And
And you had originally planned on staying how long?
about 2.5, 3 weeks.
Okay, and then
Yeah,
you
it was going to be
stayed.
a short trip.
Yeah, and then you stayed how long?
I
in
was
the
there
end?
for months. Yeah, I didn't make it back until about the middle of June. So, yeah,
That's awesome though.
we were really productive during that time. We moved a lot of dirt, and yeah, we found a lot of opal, and we were kind of keeping the industry supplied for a while. I think we did about 50 some odd semi loads, which are about
What's a semi-load?
like a semi loader, like an 18 wheeler.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah, so I mean, most miners in Lightning Ridge use little bogey trucks, and they're not much bigger than a regular pickup truck here in the States. So we could fit about 5 to 7 of those truckloads in our semi trailer or
Oh,
twin
wow.
steer. So yeah, we moved a lot of dirt when we were down there, and it's all underground mining for the most part.
Things people
So,
get to do when
Yeah.
there's a shutdown, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, no one else was doing it for a while. I mean, we were just about the only crew that I saw running their equipment for probably the first month and a half of the COVID pandemic. So it was.
So let's talk about this little guy here that you haven't found anyone who loved it except me. Where's he from, and what made him so difficult to be liked?
So that was one of my mate's claims out in the Growan, and it had some inclusions in the color bar, but it had a really nice black potch backing. So when I cut it, I basically came down quite a bit on the color, so it's not as flashy. I had to get rid of a lot of the color
And
bar.
it's got the flash pretty much from one side, right?
Yeah,
So
it's
I
what
don't
we
know
call a little bit directional. So we
Okay.
lost a bit of saturation on the color, but I figured, well, it's basically an N1 red on black opal, so I thought somebody would like it anyway. But I've had it for a little bit long, so
Now it's mine.
yeah, now it's yours, and it's gonna find a good home or end up
And-
in a nice piece of jewelry, I think.
This is the show stunner for me. I mean, within my price range, I should say, because you've got some amazing stuff that
We have all
I would have to sell my car
Yeah.
and maybe my house. And
all
so
different
we're
price ranges.
unfortunately that's not going to happen. Yeah, that's a
So
gorgeous little piece.
yeah, that's
So,
a pretty good car right
whoopty
there.
doopty. Yes. So if you want to buy something really expensive from me, please do. But I mean, you don't have to, because some of these pieces, well, the cheapest are going to be about $150, $200. So we're not going crazy here.
Now this one is special too.
Oh,
So that's a proper black opal as well.
can you turn it over so people can see what's
So what I can do is I can teach them a little bit. So
okay?
this is what we call opal potch,
Mhm.
and this is kind of what we call like marble cake or magpie potch. It's all swirly, and you can even see there's a layer of white potch in there.
Mhm.
But then there's also a thin layer of black potch in between the white potch and the color that makes it turn into a natural black opal. It's not a doublet or a triplet. It's a 68 karat, what we call a red on black, predominantly red on black opal.
Wow.
It's named the Northern Lights. Actually, it was just featured in a magazine article that Rock and Gem magazine did on me. So this is what one of my miners calls a two-beer day when you hit something like this. So yeah, she's a real beauty.
Wow. So that's one of your showstopper.
Yeah, this is So, you know, that other stone I showed you
This
would,
is the
would buy you like a
Mercedes.
really nice Honda Civic. This one be more like your base model Lamborghini.
Oh, cool.
So-
Well, I've always wanted a Lamborghini.
Yeah, or you
Actually,
can have
no,
something
I'd
as
rather have
beautiful
an
as
opal.
this.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much,
worries.
Adam. So I'm gonna pan out and give you a little bit of what the rest of the show looks like here. This is 22nd Street. It's pretty well spaced out, and you're thinking about social distance and all that stuff. There's a lot of space, and there's a lot of air movement too, and a lot more people vaccinated these days. So we're all pretty happy. I'm vaxxed, and you're vaxxed.
So am I.
Yeah. All right. Congrats, and thanks
So am I.
again.